Hello and welcome. This is the September 2014 video edition of the Iowa General Fund Monthly Revenue Memo. I'm Jeff Robinson, Senior Fiscal Analyst for the Iowa Legislative Services Agency, the nonpartisan support agency of the Iowa Legislature. This video will cover Iowa net general fund revenue for the first 3 months of fiscal year 2015. I will also review the final general fund net revenue numbers for fiscal year 2014. Over the months of July, August, and September, Iowa net general fund revenue increased $86.2 million, up 5.5% compared to the same 3 months last year. Individual income tax revenue increased 4.4%, and sales and use tax revenue increased 7.1% over the 3 months, both indications that the Iowa economy continues to expand. Gross corporate income tax revenue continues to show relative weakness, decreasing 17.2% over the first 3 months of cash year 2015. Iowa's fiscal year runs from July 1 through June 30, and that period represents what can be referred to as the cash fiscal year. However, proper accounting dictates that revenue that is deposited and refund checks that are issued after June 30, but are the result of economic activity that occurred on or before June 30, must be credited to the previous fiscal year. The process of accruing accounting transactions back to the previous fiscal year ends September 30, and it is only after that date that we get the final net revenue picture for fiscal year 2014. Fiscal year 2014 general fund revenue, net of tax refunds and including transfer revenue, totaled $6.489 billion, a decrease of $279.7 million or 4.1%. This table provides revenue growth by major revenue source. Although the numbers here will be very close to final, the results should be considered preliminary until the executive branch issues a final accounting of fiscal year 2014. Note that for this table, revenue is adjusted for accruals and refunds are subtracted from gross receipts. This provides a true look at net revenue by major source in a fiscal year basis. We can see that individual income tax decreased significantly during fiscal year 2014, the exact opposite of last fiscal year's results. Fiscal year 2013 and 14 were very much related, as the excess growth experienced during fiscal year 13 can be traced to the response of taxpayers to the impending expiration of temporary federal income tax reductions on December 31st, 2012. The impending expiration caused many taxpayers to recognize capital gains, dividends, and salary income during tax year 12 instead of tax year 2013. The result was extra state and federal taxable income during fiscal year 13 and decreased state and federal taxable income during fiscal year 14. Iowa income tax was further reduced in 2014 by an increase in the Earned Income Tax Credit and the creation of a new Taxpayer Trust Fund tax credit. 2 other significant revenue declines can also be traced to law changes. Other taxes decreased $126.4 million, and this was almost entirely due to a change in the deposit destination for cigarette tax revenue, a change initiated at the start of fiscal year 14. In addition, non-tax revenue decreased $42.2 million, and this is also traced to a law change implemented at the beginning of fiscal year 14 that moved all gambling revenue out of the general fund and into a separate state fund. Together, these 2 law changes account for almost $160 million of the overall $279.7 million general fund revenue decline for the fiscal year. The March Revenue Estimating Conference, or REC, revenue projection for the year was $6.68 billion, and the preliminary accounting of fiscal year 14 final total net revenue is $6.489 billion. So the final numbers were $190.7 million below that projection. This table provides the net revenue difference by projection category between the March REC projection and the revenue that actually arrived in fiscal year 14. The majority of the projection deficit was due to lower than expected individual and corporate income tax receipts. In summary, the first 3 months of cash fiscal year 15 show firm growth on a net cash basis of 5.5% year over year. Fiscal year 14 concluded with a $280 million general fund revenue decline, $191 million below projections. Fiscal year 14's decline was in large part the result of law changes at the state and federal level and does not appear to be an indicator of a weak Iowa economy. The law changes are now fully implemented, and the revenue weakness is not expected to continue. I thank you for your time and your interest in Iowa General Fund revenue. Goodbye, and please check out the next monthly video memo in early November.